Okay, guys, so um, I'm going to do my best to give you some information on how the Accelerated Reader Program works and how your students can be successful, how to move them from one certification to the other, and how to know what certification your student is working on, okay? Now, there's a couple of documents that I'm going to upload for you, but here's some information. And if you have questions ever, please don't hesitate to, you can go, if you're on social media, if you're on our ECPS Facebook page, you can shoot me a message right through there. Or you can email me through the link. This is our homepage here. All right, so I'm going to minimize myself and get me out of the way. Okay, so on our home page, our website, you can get to this if you just go to elbert.k12.us, go to schools, and then you can get to our primary school page. Or you can bookmark this page, it's /ECPS, and you get straight to us. You can bookmark this in your Google toolbar, save it on your home screen, or I think you can even save it on the in your notes or the home screen on your cell phone so you can get to us easy. At the very bottom where there's a contact us, email us, that comes to me. I'm that lucky person. So you can always shoot a question there, and if I don't know the answer, I'll see if I can't find out the answer. On this home page, if you will look at the toolbars up here, of course, there's calendar, there's links for teachers, there's links for students, there are parent links, and this is where you can go to get to some of this information that I'm going to share with you today. So you can see that Get Epic is a really nice place to get your hands on electronic books. It's an app, I think, and there's maybe a little bit of a subscription fee after the trial period, but I don't know, it's minimal, like $6 or $7 a month, and your child has access to just thousands and thousands of books. You can even drill down and get them books on their level. Infinite Campus Parent Portal. There's a link here. If you have that information to go in and see grades. Grades are different now here at the primary school. We actually have standard-based report cards, and so you can see their absences and things like that, but it's not as helpful as it used to be as far as grades, because we are not, you know, a grade school. We are standards-based. Newsletters that Rosa puts out every month, they are here in this newsletter section. Student handbook, also a link to Destiny, which is our online catalog. There are books, electronic books that you can get on Destiny, and there's a guest password, and I'll put this stuff in a link for you so that you have access to those things as well. So what I want, there's lots of Title I parent resources here. What I want to focus on is the AR program. So we're going to go over here, is the Renaissance Home Connect site, okay? That is what's going to help you get information to help your student. Now, I've already logged in, so if you click the Renaissance Home Connect link here, you're going to go straight to the Renaissance Home Connect site. Now, this is very specific for our school, and you must have that particular link or your password is not going to work. Your username and password is not going to work. If your student is checking out books and participating in the AR, which all first graders should be, and many kindergartners are already doing that, then you will have a Renaissance Home Connect letter that should have come home to you in your student's folder, okay? And that has the username and password. Now, I logged in on here with my nephew. He's not reading and participating in AR yet, but I wanted to show you kind of the way the dashboard will look and some capabilities, okay? So under reading practice quizzes, when your student is taking tests, you will actually be able to see a dashboard of all the books they have read and taken a test on this school year. Vocabulary practice quizzes, that's different. That's a different thing. They can take a vocabulary practice quiz, which just basically doesn't test comprehension. It tests their skills and vocabulary from that story. Reading practice quizzes are what they take to acquire their certifications and points toward t-shirts. Now in kindergarten, a kindergarten student, if they over the course of the year acquire 15 points or more, then they get an AR t-shirt at the end of the school year. And if a first grade student over the course of the year acquires 25 points, then they get the AR t-shirt. So for kindergarten, it's 15. For first grade, it's 25, okay? That's the only incentive for points. You will see the overall progress here of your student this school year. You can tweak around with that. Up here in the top right, you will see email setup. You can choose that and enter your email, your name, of course, and your email address, and it will send you a invitation through the email, and you can set up the notifications for when your student takes a test. It will notify you through email that they took a test, and then you can go straight in and see what their grade was, how they did on the test. It will also show you in this Renaissance Home Connect how they're progressing toward their next goal, okay? Book Finder is a really helpful link. You can go in here and help them choose good books and look at what they might be interested in. If there's a book that you found, jot it on a note and stick it on their book so their teacher can see it. They will pass it on to me, and I'll help them find that book. Myself from Miss Settles as my assistant. Okay? Now, this is the Renaissance Home Connect. If you've not seen it, check your child's folder if they are participating in AR and reading books. Not all kindergarten is reading books yet, okay? But if they are participating, then you will have a Renaissance Home Connect letter. And if not, ask your teacher, your child's teacher, and they will get one for you. All first graders should be participating in the Accelerated Reader Program. They all should have a book, and they all should be reading that book at home to you at night. I realize, life is busy. Listening to your child read is one of the most important things you can ever do in your whole life, okay? Letting that child read books out loud, you helping them with the words 4 or 5 times each night, gets them ready to participate in AR, and they get all the incentives and all of the recognition. But besides that, they acquire a huge array of vocabulary, and it expands their knowledge of words. If your child is a good reader and they love to read, then they can tackle any subject in school, even science, even math, because language, words, is what helps us live on this earth. You know what I mean? So take 5 or 10 minutes, listen to your child read, even if it's riding in the car, going from here to home to a ball game, or going to the grocery store. Even if they're riding, let them read, and you listen and help them with the words. If it's while you're cooking dinner, let them read their story while you're cooking dinner. Multitask. Figure out a way to fit it in and make it important, because it's so instrumental to life. And your kids at kindergarten and first grade, they're in the beginning. And that's where it's got to start, okay? You might have hated to read when you were in school. Just pretend you loved it, okay? Pretend that you loved it. You don't have to be a good reader to help your child be a good reader, okay? I believe in you. I know that we have some really good parents in our school, and y'all are so supportive. Just remember, I have to set reminders on my phones to remind me to do things, because you get so much up here, and it's hard. But just remember to let them read to you every night. and you will be so proud of that as they progress through school. Okay, that rant's over. Now, let me show you. Besides the Renaissance Home Connect, now that's how you can keep up with your student, but let me explain to you the whole program, okay? When your child starts checking out books, it depends, you know, basically a kindergarten student, when they begin checking out books, they are going to be in the 0, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and this 0 point a number range. And that basically means third month of kindergarten. Point 4 is the fourth month of kindergarten, and so on. They begin at the bottom, and then they acquire more vocabulary, and they gain the skills they need to progress up in the levels, all right? Now, 1.0, that's those red dot books. So the 0.3, if you see your kids bringing home books with a pink dot on the spine, that means they're in the beginning stages of reading. The red dots are the 1 point levels. Those are first grade, considered first grade level books. If you have kids with purple dots, then that's the second grade level books. Third grade level books are orange dots. Fourth grade level books are yellow dots. Some of our first graders end up in yellow dots, at least by the end of the school year. They are heavy readers and they love to read, so they will and can get into the fourth grade level books. I don't have many of those. Just because their level is there doesn't mean their maturity is there. So I have to be real careful about getting third and fourth grade level books since they're still 7 years old, you know. Now, let me explain the certification levels. A student always has to score an 80% or higher. So they have to get an 80 or above on a test for it to count toward their certification goals, achieving those goals, okay, in the AR program. So 80 or above is required, and their average needs to be 80% or higher. So it's real important that they at least score an 80, and I tell them all the time, 80 is fine, 80 means continue on, you know. So here are the certification levels. Ready Reader is the first certification, and that's basically 5 points with Read With, Read To. They get help with the testing. Once a student acquires 5 points, which is basically 10 books, 80 or above, or 100, because books are mostly half a point until you get into chapter books. So 10 books, and they make 100 on every one of them, gets them 5 points. And those points will also be in the Students Renaissance Home Connect website, and that's just your student. When you're able to get in there, it's just your student, and you see just their progress. Okay, so ready is any kind of way, 5 points, which is basically 10 books, making 100 on each book. Now, you might hear them talk about their flower. When they take a test and they rate the book, it shows a little flower on the screen, and it'll rain, and the flower will be fertilized, and it'll grow up according to what they've been doing in the program. And so sometimes they'll tell me their flower's full. Many times that means they have reached a certain number of points, but it doesn't always mean that they have that certification, because there's other requirements besides points. So Independent Reader is the second certification they can achieve. An Independent Reader, once they begin reading and working on independent, they should be able to read mostly independently. Now, they're going to need help with words, and sometimes need help with words on the test, but they should be mostly reading and taking those tests independently without a lot of help. Now, once they achieve Ready Reader, then they start working on Independent Reader, And once they're working independent reader, they have to acquire 10 points, but 3 of those tests need to be on a level book that's 1.2 or higher. Just 3 of them. The rest of the books can be, anywhere in their zone. Now, a zone is, so when your student is reading, their zone may be 03 to 09. That means they're going to read the pink dot books and they're going to find their place to be successful, and they're going to work towards getting out of the pink dot books. If their zone, if you always see them coming home with red dots, that means that's their good level. They are working, the more they read, they're going to work themselves into the next level, okay? And it's all about being successful. That's what I mean by zone. And so while they are trying to acquire points, once they get 3 tests 80 or above on 1.2 or higher, the rest of them can be anywhere in their zone, and they need to get 10 points, okay? Keep in mind, they always have to make 80 or above for those tests to count. Rising Reader certification. So once they achieve independent reader, then they begin working on Rising Reader. And Rising Reader is another 10 points, but it's 1.6 level books and higher. So they have to have 3 1.6 level books or higher and 10 points. Now those 3 books go into the 10 points, but the other points can be anywhere in that zone that they're reading in, okay? It can be higher than 1.6, or it could be a little lower than 1.6. Once they achieve Rising Reader, then Super Reader is next, and that gets them into the chapter books. So you see how each certification is working on growing them and making them better. So their levels get higher, they learn more vocabulary, they're able to read harder books, and so then when they start working on Super Reader, they are reading chapter books. Some kindergarten students get those skills, and they start working on Super Reader. I had a couple of Super Readers in kindergarten last year. So Super Reader is chapter books. They have to be a 2nd grade level, that's 2.0 or higher, book level. So those are the purple dots. When you see purple dots, that means they're in 2nd grade level books. Red dots are 1st grade level books. Pink dots are kindergarten books is what we call them, but they're the beginnings. So for Super Reader, they need 3 chapter books that are purple dots, but they also have to be worth 1 point. Most of the books you see come home are going to be worth a half a point, especially picture books. Chapter books have to be worth 1 point for Super Reader, and it's just 3 of them. It takes longer to read chapter books. They don't understand that they can take a whole week to read a chapter book and sometimes students have to work themselves into being able to read a chapter book. So if they're not ready when they get this far, it's okay. There are easy chapter books that they actually have chapters, but aren't worth the point, that they can start reading to get themselves used to going from one chapter to the next and that chapter to the next, because all the story runs together, and that's the skill that they actually have to learn. So Super Reader is 3 purple dot books, 2nd grade or higher, that's worth 1 point apiece. And to give you an example, those books are a lot of times Junie B. Jones, Magic Tree House, Dog Man, that's some of the real Cul-de-sac Kids. Those are some of the real popular chapter books that they get into. That's purple dots and worth a point. Now, we have one student that has already acquired Advanced Reader, and we've got several working on Advanced Reader. Because the more your child reads, the smarter they get, and I cannot emphasize that enough. The more they read, the smarter they get, okay? So letting them read to you is the most important thing you can ever do in your life. And that's the most important thing you can ever do for them in their life, okay? Or one of them anyway. So Advanced Reader gets harder. So all the certifications get harder as they go. because their levels increase. They're reading more books. They're reading harder books, and they're learning more words. They're learning skills to start reading chapters and keep that story in their head, as they read it. Once a student is reading chapter books, they can also check out a picture book at the same time. So they can continue to read in those easy books and take tests while they're reading the chapter book. It's okay for parents to assist them with reading chapter books, but please don't read the whole book to your child, okay? They need, of course, that's comprehension and being able to remember the story, but they need to be reading that book with you. So if you read a chapter, let them read a chapter. Or you read a page, let them read a page. It's okay to assist, but they need to be mostly independent readers after they achieve Ready Reader. Advanced Reader, that student is smart enough to read that book slam out by themselves. Most super readers are smart enough to read them slam out by themselves. So when they get to advanced, those books are a little harder, so they're orange dots, which means they're third grade level books, and they're worth 2 points apiece. Remember, every test needs to be 80% or higher for it to count toward their certifications, which is a goal. So advanced reader books are third grade level books worth 2 points apiece, which is basically longer chapter books. Star Reader, I don't know if we'll have a Star Reader this year or not, because that is pretty advanced. They are reading fourth grade level books to hit Star, worth 4 points apiece. So, if we don't have Star Readers, it's okay. Those are fourth grade level books, and, they're only in first grade. So if they don't hit Star Reader, it is okay. If they don't hit Advanced Reader, it is okay. Super Reader is amazing for a first grader, a kindergartner, that side of the world, but first grade, if they get Super Reader, that's amazing because they're reading books above their level. So, if they're not ready to get Advanced Reader or Star Reader, please just let them. Just the main thing is they enjoy reading, and that is the important thing about this program, this Renaissance Learning Program, the AR program. Your students are given the privilege, and they're taught how to be independent, how to find books. They're taught so many things when they come to the library to choose a book. They're taught how to find books that in their interest and read them for pleasure. They are reading for pleasure, and in the back, they get rewarded for their work, okay? That's what I love about this program and being able to facilitate this program, because they're little, they're getting that love, they're acquiring that love for reading, they're realizing that they can read, they can learn, they love nonfiction books. Many of my readers love nonfiction. They love stories. They love, a book can take you anywhere in this world. If you can't travel, you can find a book that can help you get there. So that's why I love this program so much. We are teaching them and fostering that love for reading, and reading something that they are interested in. They can choose a book that they would enjoy reading. It's not, a teacher's not telling them what to get. I'm not telling them what to get. I suggest things in their zone, in their level, but they get to choose the book that they would be interested in. So they're learning to read. They're getting better at reading. Their levels are progressing and getting harder. And in the back, they get rewarded for their hard work and for doing something that they enjoy doing. And that's where our accelerator, our parties come in, our celebrations come in there. I don't have the schedule, and I will find the schedule and I'll post these documents so you can see them. I may even go here in for parents and put an accelerated reader tab here for you, and then put those documents in there so you can look at them, okay? You've got the Renaissance Home Place Connect link right here. So I will add these documents so that you can get to them and refer to them when, you know, as your child progresses through the school year. Parties, every time. So every 9 weeks between the beginning and the first report card, if they achieve at least one goal certification, they get a dog tag necklace, they get shouted out on the intercom, they get praised for reading, their picture is put on the Wall of Fame. If you've never been down this way and you've never seen the Wall of Fame, drop by next time you're at school. It's right outside the media center, and we take a picture of them every time they achieve a certification and post it on the Wall of Fame so that everybody can see their progression in reading. There's already lots of kids out there, and we just finished finishing up our first 9 weeks. So I guess it's finished now because my first party is tomorrow. So all the students that have achieved a certification in this first 9 weeks have received an invitation to our first celebration, which is the milkshakes and fries. And then the next 9 weeks, and all the students that achieve any certification within that 9 weeks gets invited to the second party, which will be cupcake decorating. And that will be before Christmas. The third party, so all of the celebrations are at the end of a 9-week period. So when a student brings home a report card, that'll be around the time we have an AR party. And I keep up with all of that. I send invitations to those who have achieved a level, and we just, you know, we love praising them for that reading, for loving to read, and for working hard toward their goals. It's all goal oriented. They are taught how to achieve those goals, and so it's a really cool thing. Okay, so that's sort of a rundown on the program. That is the Renaissance Home Connect site, how you can learn or know where your child is progressing, how to help them. The Elbert County School, the Elbert Primary School website, where you can go to get this information. I'll be putting a link here for you to click on to see these documents and the schedule of the party, so you can help refresh your memory and know when the party's coming up, okay? If you have questions, go down to the bottom of this website and click on email us. I'm that lucky person. You can shoot a question and I'll be happy to help you. We do a lot of things on Facebook. We have a Facebook page, so you can, you know, go onto our Facebook page. Make sure you like our Facebook page. I do a lot of posting, a lot of pictures, a lot of announcements and things there. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you so much for caring enough and watching this video to learn about our accelerated reader program. And, you know, take care and continue being great. Thank you so much again, you guys. I'll see you next time.